Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new. Today I am sharing 3 amazing and very easy salad recipes. So if you're like me and you've been enjoying all this comfort food lately, but you're wanting something healthier to balance it out a little bit, keep watching. Up first is a roasted sweet potato and chickpea salad. So the first thing that we need to prep for this recipe are the pickled red onions. So I'm just starting out by thinly slicing half of a red onion. I will have the original recipe linked down below, and then also my notes for what I changed on it, but I am adjusting the amounts because I am just making this for myself. And then into a pot, you want to bring to a simmer a mixture of red wine vinegar, water, sugar, and a little bit of salt. Once this comes up to like a hard simmer, a little bit of a boil, we're going to remove it from the heat and pour it over the red onions and let them soak for about 30 minutes, which is about the time it takes to prep the rest of the ingredients. By pickling the red onion, it does take away some of the sharpness of its flavor, and it gives a really good flavor to the dressing on the salad. So I highly recommend you not skip this step if you're making this recipe. While the onions are pickling, I'm going to go ahead and get my sweet potato diced up. I did decide to peel it because the skin of the sweet potato did not look the best, so I wanted to make sure that everything was okay. So I did go ahead and peel it, and then I'm just going to cut it into like a small dice. The original recipe, again, which will be linked down below, has you put them in like fry shapes, but I wanted to do it into a dice because I think it's a lot easier to eat in the salad. And for me, a lot of times when I'm eating something like this, like if it's lunch, it's all about convenience. So I went ahead and transferred the sweet potatoes to a baking sheet, and then I added in some chickpeas that I did drain and rinse. And then you're going to add your spices. So I used some garlic powder, paprika, and salt, and then a little bit of oil, and then you're just going to toss that to combine, and it's going to go into a 425-degree oven for about 30 minutes. Because I did cut the sweet potatoes smaller, I think I ended up only going for about like 25 minutes. So you just want to give it a check, I'd say probably at like the 25-minute mark, and see if they're done. Meanwhile, I'm just going to prep the rest of the salad ingredients. So here I'm just going to dice up a cucumber. I am not the biggest fan of cucumber, but I really was trying to make myself just add it in and get a little bit more vegetables. So you are going to see that I cut it pretty thinly. That's kind of a way that I sneak it into myself. But I'm going to do that, and then I'm also going to chop up some parsley. The original recipe called for dill as well, but I do not like dill, so I left that out. But that's something that's so great about honestly all of these salad recipes, is that you can customize them to what you like. So for the dressing, you're just going to need the zest of a lemon, and I'm just using my zester here and putting that directly into the bowl. Now, if you don't want the bigger strips, then I would recommend doing it on your cutting board and then running your knife through it, but I don't mind that. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the juice of the lemon as well. And then we're also going to add in some honey, some oil, and some salt and pepper. So you will notice from a traditional like vinaigrette, there is not vinegar in this dressing, but the pickled red onions has the vinegar in it. So once you toss everything to combine for the salad, and everything comes together, you get that vinegar from the onions, and it combines with the dressing, and it's just such a good flavor. So if you were leaving out the red onions, then I would add in a little bit of red wine vinegar to this mixture here, so that way you get that bright flavor. So now we just have to build the salad. I'm starting out with some kale. You can use whatever kind of lettuce that you like, but I do love kale, so I wanted to use it here. And then to that, I'm going to add in everything that we prepped. So the cucumbers, the parsley, you're going to see the pickled red onions come in, and then the roasted sweet potatoes and chickpeas. And oh my goodness, they look so good, and they taste even better than they look. I loved that addition in the salad. And then I'm also going to add in some feta. If you don't like feta, you do not have to add it. You can use, a goat cheese would be really good here, or you can omit cheese if you're trying not to do dairy. But I went ahead and added that in, and then I'm just going to drizzle it with the dressing. And before you eat, obviously you're going to toss it to combine. I did leave it separated so that way you can see the components of the salad. but this recipe was so good and really so easy to make. The next salad is a Mediterranean chickpea salad. To start out with, you want to dice up some red pepper. I'm going to go ahead and dice this pepper up for this recipe and then the next one as well. But this is my favorite way of cutting up a pepper. So I cut the top circle off, and then you can see all of the seeds come out together in one chunk on the top. And then I run my knife down the side, and then I run it along the bottom, and that removes all the membranes in the bottom of the pepper. I don't waste any part of it because, one, I can cut this up here and use it myself, but also my dogs love red pepper, so I do give them some of it too. So like I said, I am cutting this red pepper up for 2 salad recipes. So you're going to see at first I have a little bit bigger of a dice, and then I do a smaller dice for the second part of the red pepper, and that's why. And then I'm going to go ahead and slice up my red onion. Just like the first recipe, I'm just going to do this in a thin slice. Something that I love about these recipes is that they're really great for meal prep. So like I said, I was kind of cutting that red pepper for 2 different salad recipes because I was using this as meal prep for lunches and dinners for the work week. So that's something to keep in mind too. As long as you don't add your dressing to it, these are really great to get ready ahead of time. I went ahead and placed the onion and pepper into a pan with a little bit of olive oil, and I'm just going to saute this until it's cooked to my liking. It's really personal preference here. If you want it to have more of a bite, then obviously you'll cook it for less time. I like to let my onions start to like kind of caramelize a little bit and cook down further. So once it gets to the point where I feel like I'm happy with it, then that's when I'm going to stop it. Once you get the onion and pepper to where you are happy, you're going to add in a couple cloves of garlic, and then you just want to let this saute for about 1 minute to 1.5 minutes until that becomes fragrant, and just so that way you don't have that raw garlic taste. You're also going to add in a little bit of red pepper flake. I am not a big fan of spice. I'm quite a baby when it comes to spicy foods, so I only added a little bit, but I really did like the heat that it added, and it was not overpowering, so just you want to do that to your preference. So next I'm going to add in a can of chickpeas. Again, I did drain and rinse these. And then we're going to add in a little bit of lemon juice and some parsley. And that's it. That's going to go in here until the very end. We're going to top it with a little bit of feta. But you just want to cook this until it warms through, and then you'll be good to go. Now this is meant to be eaten as like a warm salad. Obviously we're cooking it on the stove. But I did eat this for lunch. I refrigerated it and had it for lunch, and I loved it cold too. So I love the versatility with this recipe because you can have it both ways. Another thing that I think would be great with this recipe would be to use this as your filling for a wrap. So putting it in tortilla or into pita bread would be really good. You can even serve this over some quinoa or rice or even lettuce if you wanted to have it as like more of a traditional salad. And the final salad recipe I'm sharing today is for a Thai chicken salad. This salad cannot be any easier to make, and it is packed full of flavor. The first thing that you need to do is make the dressing, and so I'm starting out with some soy sauce and peanut butter, and then we're going to add in a little bit of lime juice, honey, sesame oil, garlic powder, and some fresh ginger. Now, I did not want to buy fresh ginger when I was at my local grocery store because the only option was to buy this package that had so much in it. So I did buy the kind that's refrigerated in a tube, and it does keep for quite a while in the refrigerator, so I like that I'm going to have that on hand for other recipes. So you're going to whisk that together, and then you're going to add water in until you get it to the desired thickness that you want. The base of this salad is coleslaw mix, so I'm just going to add that into the bottom of my bowl here. You can use anything that you like though if you wanted to use a different green. And then to that you're going to add some chicken and some diced peanuts. For the chicken, I went ahead and just used a rotisserie chicken and shredded up the breasts. And then I'm also going to add in the red pepper that we diced in the previous recipe, and then some chopped scallions as well. I'm going to toss all of that to combine, and then we're going to add our dressing on top. Now the recipe also does call for cilantro, which I love, so I ended up adding that into my portion, but my husband does not like cilantro, so I left it out of like this main bowl here. So if you like cilantro, I would recommend using it in this recipe because it goes really well with the other flavors. By using that rotisserie chicken, this was literally a 5-minute meal, if that. It was so quick and easy to make. You could also do this with leftover chicken. I think this would be a great way to use it up too. Or obviously you can cook it specifically for this recipe. But we just loved it. I really hope that you guys enjoyed seeing these 3 salad recipes. If you give any of them a try, please let me know down in the comments below. And please don't forget to hit the subscribe button before you go.